Willie D Live.
What's up, family? There is a lot of discussion about the knife Karmelo Anthony used to stop the assault on him by Austin Metcalf. That knife, people are saying, should not have been in his possession because it is against school policy. Now, it is important for all of us to understand that legal by law and what is school policy rules, two absolute total different things. And we'll get into that in a moment. First, I want to show y'all something. I want to show you the knife that was used in the Karmelo Anthony stabbing. So this is a knife called the Ozark Trail 7-in-1 stainless steel multi-tool knife with screwdriver. It is $11.78 currently. You can purchase one at Walmart. Okay, this is what it includes. Because some people say, well, he brought a knife to school. No, he brought a multi-tool knife to school. And that's important because typically if you're going to bring something to try to end somebody's life, you're not bringing a multi-tool, you're just going to bring a knife. And I don't think you would bring that type of knife anyway. In any event, it is an Ozark 7-in-1 stainless steel multi-tool knife with screwdriver. 7-in-1 tool includes a knife, screwdriver, fire starter, glass breaker, cord cutter, bottle opener, and a light. It is a durable stainless steel construction. Compact design is ideal for camping, hunting, and emergency kits. Provides quick access to multiple useful gadgets. That's the knife being used as a Phillips screwdriver. That's the cord cutter, fire starter. These knives, these multi-tools knives have advanced. Okay, so as you can see, fam, this is a multi-purpose tool, right? That's what this is, a multi-purpose, what they call it, a multi-tool knife is what it's called. It's 3.5 inches long. Some people were saying that, oh no, it's 8 inches, it's this, it's that. No, the state of Texas go by the size of the blade, the length of the blade. The length of the blade is 3.5 inches. So why is that important? Because one could argue intent. If you're intent on harming somebody, why would you take a knife anyway? And here's the thing too, fam. These youngsters getting their hands on guns. So it ain't hard to get your hands on a gun if you want to protect yourself. If you really believe, if you're going into a situation thinking that your life might be in danger, these kids ain't got no problem taking guns to school. They don't have a problem taking guns to school at all. So why would somebody be surprised that somebody has a knife? Remember now, this is Texas. We do a lot of hunting out here. But supposedly that ain't why Karmelo had the knife. He had it because allegedly to use on his cleats. But I guarantee you, had they searched every student at that venue that day, at that stadium, they would have found that same multi-tool knife in the possession of a few other students and coaches and staff members. So what does the law say about the knife? If the knife was legal under Texas law, which it has been established the knife was legal under Texas law, that generally means he was not committing a crime simply by possessing that type of knife. The knife itself was not contraband under state law. Mere possession of the knife would not automatically create criminal liability. If the knife violated school policy, that means the school could discipline the student. Possible consequences could include suspension, expulsion, removal from activities, or other school sanctions. A school policy violation is not necessarily a criminal offense. Why the distinction matters. In a criminal case, a prosecutor cannot simply argue he had a knife, therefore he committed a crime. If the knife was legal to possess under Texas law, the prosecution would need to show some other criminal conduct. However, the fact that a student knowingly brought a knife onto school property could still become relevant evidence if it relates to intent, state of mind, planning or preparation, credibility of witnesses, which we know the witnesses were shady. Some changed their stories in court. And then you have self-defense claims. In the Karmelo Anthony case specifically, one issue attorneys and commentators are arguing and debating is that the knife possessions was merely a school rule violation, or bringing the knife to an event demonstrates something about intent, preparedness, or foreseeability. Let's stop right there. Intent, preparedness, or foreseeability. I don't think you have any of those, because if he had intent, preparedness, or foreseeability, I don't think he would have brought a multi-purpose knife to school. I don't think he would have brought a multi-purpose tool knife to school. I think he would have taken something else, especially if he anticipates being jumped. You got Austin and you got his brother, who have been identified as known bullies. Ain't nobody disputing that. Not one person has disputed that yet, that they were bullies. Not one person has disputed that. Not one. Out of all the people that have been supportive of Austin Metcalf and his family, not one person has disputed that they were bullies. Not even their daddy. That's a big deal, right, fam? If somebody got a bully label, they would immediately try to debunk that, right? Like, no, man, that's a lie. You know, he was not a bully. He was a nice guy. So with the access that these youngsters have to guns these days, I think that if Karmelo Anthony really wanted to go there to cause some lethal damage, I think he would have taken a gun. I think he would have gotten his hands on a gun some kind of way. Some kind of way, I think he would have gotten his hands on a gun, because it ain't hard to do. Okay, so now you got the idea that a jury could conclude that the knife was legally possessed under Texas law. School policy was violated. The policy violation alone does not determine guilt or innocence. The knife presence may still be considered alongside all other evidence in deciding what happened during the incident. See, that is why lawyers oftentimes emphasize that legal under state law and allowed by school rules are not the same. They're not the same thing. One concerns criminal law, the other concerns school discipline and administrative rules. So, a lot of people think that just because he had a knife, that automatically makes him guilty. Well, that's the question. They don't have any other argument. It's like, well, what do you have a knife? What do you have a knife for? He shouldn't have had a knife. He shouldn't have brought a knife. He shouldn't have brought a knife to school. Then after they heard that, well, it wasn't a regular knife, it was a multi-tool knife that students use for various reasons, that people use for various reasons, right? In Texas, period, including students. So now it's, well, he shouldn't have stabbed him, he just pushed him, he should have just taken a whooping. How many of y'all gonna just take a whooping if you have something in reach to defend yourself? Who gonna just take a whooping? I'm not talking about a person starting a fight. Now, if you start a fight, that's different. But if somebody just come messing with you, trying to put their hands on you. I think you got every right to use whatever you have in reach to stop that threat. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm telling you straight up. That's what I'm gonna do, because I don't mess with nobody. I don't start nothing. But ain't nobody finna mess with me either. I'm not finna allow anybody to mess with me. Ain't nobody finna push me around. Ain't nobody finna make me do something. Ain't nobody finna have me scared, intimidated, in fear for my life. If they do, it ain't gonna last long. Straight up. Straight up. So some of these people, I think, just talking. I think some people are just talking because they like the idea of the black kid being the villain and the black kid going to prison 35 years. Even if you are to believe that it was a fight that got out of hand and Karmelo took it too far, you still got to consider how it happened, why it happened. You still got to consider that. And if you consider that, and you still conclude that that boy deserved 35 years in prison, a kid who ain't never been in trouble before, a kid who was accosted by bullies, known bullies, a kid who is an honor roll student who saved a life, you ain't gonna consider none of that? That's how I know your ass is racist. You either racist or you are a coon. Straight up. It ain't no other ways to say it. Now, from a legal standpoint, I get it when attorneys speak. So I'll respect that. I'll respect the profession enough to say if an attorney looks at this and thinks that it went this way and it should have gone that way, fine. But I'm not going to respect any attorney that thinks that 35 years is a fair sentence. I'm never going to respect that. But what say you, fam? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. No more talk.